My parents weren't exactly thrilled when I told them I was taking a job at Burger King for my senior year of high school. They wanted me to focus on college applications, not flipping Whoppers. But I was 17, a kid from Phoenix, Arizona, and I was itching for a taste of real independence. So, against their better judgment, I started working the evening shifts after school and weekends. It was a Friday night around 6 p.m. The restaurant was packed with families and couples everywhere. The play area was full of little kids, climbing through the tubes and going down the slides. I was manning the counter, taking orders. David, my coworker, was aiding me. The line was seriously long, and people were getting antsy to get their order ASAP. I was trying to power through when this guy caught my eye. He had on khakis, a hoodie, and a baseball cap. At first glance, he looked like just some regular guy out to chill. But what made him stand out was the way he was sitting all alone, without a food tray or a phone in sight. He was staring hard at the kids in the play area. I thought maybe he was waiting for someone, but he'd been sitting there for like 20 minutes, or maybe even longer than that. It felt wrong and made my stomach feel weird. I kept glancing over at him between orders. He never moved or looked away from the play area. Finally, I told my manager and pointed the guy out. My manager looked over and watched him for a minute before he walked over to his table. I couldn't hear their conversation, but I could see that my manager was trying to be polite, dissatisfied with the man's answers as the dude got uncomfortable and defensive. My manager came back and told me to keep an eye on him and said he'd call the cops if anything happened. I nodded and kept checking up on him. 10 minutes ticked by and he was still just sitting there, scoping out the children. Then, this blonde chick cut in line and everyone started yelling at her. That distracted me for a second. When I looked back, his table was empty. I was freaking out, trying to see where he went. Instead, I noticed this little girl with pigtails wandering off from the play area. She looked maybe 5 or 6. She was heading for the exit and kind of glancing around like she was lost. The man was just a couple feet from her. My heart started pounding. Something felt off. I knew it. He was walking fast, closing the distance. The little girl just kept going toward the door and didn't see him coming. Suddenly, he grabbed her arm and tried to yank her toward the exit. She started bawling, trying to pull away. I didn't think twice. I jumped over the counter and dashed toward them. David saw what was happening and ran with me. We grabbed the man and pulled him away from the girl. "Let go of her!" The man tried to fight and pull away, but we held him. The girl ran back toward the play area, crying and looking for her parents. The whole restaurant erupted. Everyone realized what was happening. Parents were screaming and pulling their kids close. Some customers ran over to help us restrain the man. He was fighting hard, kicking and trying to break free.
"Get off me! You don't understand, that's my daughter!"
But nobody believed him. The little girl was screaming that she didn't know him. Her actual parents came running over. The mom grabbed her daughter and the dad helped us hold the man down. My manager had already called the police, and they arrived within minutes. When he was handcuffed and dragged away, he was still fighting and yelling, claiming the girl was his daughter. The police took statements from every single one of the spectators. My manager told them about the whole exchange he had with the guy. The little girl's parents were crying and hugging their daughter and thanking us over and over, saying we saved her life. The dad left David and I a fat tip. The mom kept sobbing. What if you hadn't seen him? What if you hadn't stopped him? I didn't know what to say, because I was thinking the same thing. What if I hadn't noticed? What if I'd been too busy with customers and ignored my gut feeling? After the police left, my manager let me take a break. I went to the back and just sat there shaking. David sat down too. We talked about it for hours. The whole thing had happened so fast, maybe 2 minutes from start to finish. But it felt like hours. The restaurant slowly went back to normal, with families finishing their meals and kids going back to the play area. But I couldn't stop thinking about it. The police came back to get statements from the staff, especially me. They told us the man had attempted similar abductions at other fast food restaurants, always places with play areas and always crowded environments where he could blend in. He'd been doing it for months and counting on the chaos to slip away unnoticed before anyone realized what happened. We were the first people to actually stop him. I'm 18 now and still work at that Burger King, but I watch the play area differently now. I watch everyone who sits alone, doesn't order food, and watches the kids too closely. Because that day taught me that predators look for opportunities and count on people being too busy or too polite to say something. They count on you ignoring your gut, but sometimes paying attention is the difference between a kid going home safe or never going home at all.